As soon as the test report came out, I almost ran to the restroom and looked down at myself. There is a penis. I stubbornly confirmed the information on the report word by word. Name, Theodore. Gender, male, 19 years old. Approximately 8 weeks of early pregnancy. Has the world finally gone crazy? I left the hospital absent-mindedly, with the doctor's words echoing in my ears. An organ similar to a uterus has abnormally developed in your body cavity, and there is a very thin soft catheter between the cervix and the intestine. The 8-week fetus has already taken shape. You can't have a medical abortion. You can only have an abdominal operation to remove this organ. The operation will be very difficult and expensive. Since you have to have an abdominal operation, it's better to remove it during childbirth. You can go back and discuss it with your boyfriend and family before making a decision. After all, it's a little life. The cause of the matter is that recently I've been feeling dizzy and weak, nauseous and vomiting, and have lost my appetite. So I came to the hospital for a checkup. The test showed that the HCG level was too high. The doctor frowned tightly and ordered a series of additional tests. No one expected that I was pregnant. Liam's face appeared in my mind. In a fit of anger, I sent him a message to question him. Don't you have the habit of wearing a condom? The other party replied instantly. Wear a condom? Who is supposed to wear a condom? It really made me laugh out of anger. So you're going to deny it after putting on your pants? Ha! When I was about to send a little essay I'd just written, I only realized it later. Liam simply didn't remember what happened that night. I silently cursed under my breath, deleted the little essay, and replied with 4 words. Wrong recipient. Then I irritably exited the chat interface and didn't look at his messages anymore. What the hell is this? The incident happened 2 months ago. Liam had drunk too much outside and stubbornly insisted that I go pick him up. As soon as I entered the private room, when he saw me, he got up and staggered over. He stretched his head and rested it on my shoulder. His scorching breath hit my ear canal as he complained. Why did you take so long? I've been waiting for you for ages. I rubbed my itchy ear and pushed his head away in disgust, saying crossly, just talk and keep your distance. Liam let out a soft laugh, reached out his arm to pull me close, and unceremoniously pressed his whole body against mine. Through the thin fabric, his body temperature was alarmingly hot as he greeted me. The guy who had just sat next to Liam looked at me resentfully. I frowned, supported Liam and left, saying, how much did you drink to get like this? Liam didn't say a word. After walking some distance, Liam suddenly stopped and said, give me your coat. No way. I just bought it and it's the first time I've worn it today. Hey, why are you even using force? He pressed my head down with his hand, and out of the corner of my eye, I caught sight of a place. I stood there stunned for a few seconds, quickly looked around, took off my coat and tied a tight knot around his waist, then asked in a hushed voice, in public, what's wrong with you? Liam frowned and said, I must have been drugged by someone. I originally wanted to find a nearby hotel for him to deal with it, but Liam flatly refused and insisted on going back to his rental house. I clicked my tongue, took out my phone to call a taxi, glanced at his crotch, and asked, it's a more than 20-minute drive. Can you hold it? Liam remained calm. I've always had good stamina. Ugh. Some filthy stuff got into my ears. When they arrived at the destination and got out of the car, Liam didn't look well. His face was flushed. His eyes were a bit unfocused. His whole body was tense, and he was scaldingly hot. When they reached the entrance of the apartment building, I asked Liam, where's your phone? The other man responded half a beat late, saying, in my pants pocket. I reached out to feel around, and suddenly a low groan came from above my head. It made my scalp tingle. Stop groping around. It's in the right pocket. Well, what a nerve to complain first. Blushing, I quickly took out the phone, swiped it to open the access control, and helped him upstairs. Once inside the room, Liam staggered towards the bathroom. Wait, give me back my coat. Just as I chased after him, the bathroom door that was slammed shut almost hit my nose. Immediately afterwards, the sound of rushing water rang out inside. Muttering curses, I was about to leave when suddenly there was a noise from inside. I quickly walked over, knocked on the door and asked, Liam, how are you? There was only the sound of water inside. I hesitated for a moment. My mind involuntarily thought of the news about someone becoming brain damaged from slipping in the shower, and I turned the doorknob. The person inside turned his head and stared straight at me. The water hit his firm pectoral muscles, slid down his well-defined abs to his V-line, and soaked the familiar coat around his crotch. My eyelids twitched, and my ears and face uncontrollably started to burn. My coat. Just as I was about to turn around and back out, I heard him plead pitifully, Theodore, please help me. Okay? Please. His voice was low and hoarse, extremely alluring. Strangely, I somehow asked, how can I help? Liam walked up to me with a dark and unclear look in his eyes, grabbed my hand and guided it down his abs, staring at me without blinking. I lowered my head in a daze, and the visual stimulation left my mind blank. Like an electric shock, I withdrew my hand, but Liam forcibly pressed it back. All my memories after that were in a mess. The alarm clock rang. I closed my eyes and fumbled to turn it off. I only felt extremely tired today and turned over to go back to sleep. Dully, I felt a faint breath on my face from the side. I suddenly opened my eyes and saw Liam right in front of me. He was bare-chested, with broad shoulders and a narrow waist, and his muscle lines were perfect. It scared me so much that I immediately bounced up from the bed. With this movement, my whole body ached, especially my tailbone, which ached terribly. I gasped, and the inappropriate memory fragments from last night came back to me. Even if you've never eaten pork, you've seen a pig run. Staring at Liam's sleeping face, I was indignant. That man seduced me. I have to leave quickly before he wakes up. I picked up the scattered clothes on the ground and put them on through the pain. Limping, I left and went back to the dormitory. I took a shower while scolding Liam. There were quite a few bite marks on my body. He's really like a dog. After taking a shower quietly, I was so tired that I got on the bed and lay on my stomach, then fell asleep in a daze. When I woke up again, I saw Liam playing games with my roommate James. Seeing his energetic look and then thinking about myself, I'm so angry. I got out of bed through the pain. Liam heard the noise and came over. You're awake. Why do you look so pale? He reached out and touched my forehead. He even has the nerve to ask. I slapped his hand away and glared at him fiercely. Stop being so touchy. Get out of the way. As soon as I spoke, even I was stunned. Liam asked jokingly, what did you do last night? Your voice is so hoarse. I was stunned. It seemed that he had forgotten what had happened yesterday. It's good that he forgot. At least I don't have to kill him to cover it up. I didn't bother to talk to him and went to the bathroom. When I came out, he was gone. James pointed at the things on the table and said, Junior Jung asked me to give these to you. There was a brand new coat with a tag on it, exactly the same as the previous one. I glanced at it, and a vivid picture flashed through my mind. My throat was a bit dry. I poured a glass of water. Just as I sat down, I almost passed out. After taking a long time to recover, I slowly adjusted my posture and tried to get used to it. Seeing this, James asked in a low voice, Are you? I was startled. James, did your hemorrhoids act up? I nodded along. Because apart from this reason, I don't know how to explain to him why I've become like this overnight. I knew Liam was well endowed, but I never thought that one day it would affect me like this. Just thinking about it now makes me terrified. Just then, Liam came back with a bag of things. Here, thanks for sending me home yesterday. There were cold medicine, throat lozenges, etc. in the bag. I couldn't help but ask tentatively, do you remember what happened last night? Liam raised his eyebrows and jokingly asked me rhetorically, Surely I didn't sleep with you, did I? I was so frightened that I almost jumped up. Blushing, I scolded him guiltily. Liam, are you crazy? How could you make such a joke? Liam pretended to heave a sigh of relief and patted his chest, saying I knew it. After all, I'm not interested in straight men. I gave a cold laugh and felt inexplicably annoyed. Your behavior in bed yesterday was not like this. I said indifferently. Well, you have quite a lot of principles. Is there anything else? You're disturbing my rest. Remember to take your medicine. Liam has never hidden his sexual orientation. At the beginning of the university semester, a girl confessed her love to him, only to be told that the gender is not suitable. So Liam's name suddenly became one of the hottest topics on campus overnight. The forum post soared, and most of the comments were negative. That day when I returned to the dormitory, Lucas from the next door dormitory was playing games with James. While operating, Lucas said, There's a guy in our school who publicly said he's gay. James casually asked, Who is it? Freshman Liam. I was stunned. Then I heard him still saying, It's so disgusting for two men to be together. It's just a mental disorder. And a guy with long hair. So effeminate. A guy keeps chattering. Annoying. I put down the meals I brought. Lucas looked up and asked, Theodore, did you bring my shredded pork with green peppers meal? I lied through my teeth. No, I didn't. He stared blankly at the 3 meals on the table, one of which was shredded pork with green peppers. Isn't this it? Right in front of him. I turned around and poured the bowl into the trash can. Oh, now there isn't any. If you really want to eat it, you can go pick it up from the trash can. Lucas was stunned and his face flushed red. Theodore, are you crazy? I ignored him and sat down to eat on my own. James quickly tried to smooth things over. Lucas cursed a few times and stomped off angrily. James leaned over and asked, What's wrong between you and Lucas? It's nothing. I just suddenly took a dislike to him. I opened the campus forum, and the first thing I saw was Liam's photo. His eyebrows and eyes were as passionate and unrestrained as they were in high school. At that time, I quite hated him, because two of the self-critiques in my life were related to him. That day, I caught a couple kissing, and one of them was Liam. He was very famous and particularly popular at school. No matter what competition it was, as long as it was against Jiang Yixing, the girls would switch sides on the spot, cheering and shouting for him desperately, regardless of their own class. When I saw that the one kissing him was not a girl but a boy of the same gender as him, I was so shocked that I forgot to leave right away. After Liam noticed over there, he raised his eyebrows defiantly and said, "What are you looking at? Haven't you seen people kissing?" My face instantly burned with embarrassment, and I trotted away awkwardly. After running a certain distance, I suddenly came to my senses. Their kissing and being in a relationship violates school rules. Why am I running? The impact of that scene made me absent-minded in class later. After school, I saw Liam waiting at the door. He called me over to a small corner. In his words, he told me to keep my mouth shut and not to talk nonsense, or he'd make me pay. His attitude was very arrogant. Being threatened like this, I was annoyed and involuntarily retorted, "Do you think I wanted to see two guys kissing? How disgusting." Liam's face instantly turned ashen, and he raised his fist at me. "Say that again, you son of a bitch." He threatened me and even wanted to hit me. I got angry and said, "What? That you were kissing a guy in the woods? That you're gay?" The next second, Liam's fist came down. It was very heavy and painful. I fought back without showing any weakness. The two of us wrestled with each other inseparably and ended up getting taken to the teacher. In the office, Liam and I stood there with bruised noses and swollen faces. The teacher turned to me first and asked, "Tell me first, why did you two fight?" Liam visibly tensed up and stared at me intently, with a fierce look in his eyes, sending a signal, "If you dare to say it, you're finished." Because I deliberately paused for a moment and saw Liam trembling uncontrollably. He is both pitiful and funny. I said, "Because he doesn't like me." The teacher frowned, turned his head, and silently asked Liam. He was stunned for a few seconds and blurted out, "Yes, I can't stand him." The teacher asked, "What's the reason?" Liam paused for a moment and said, "Because he always ranks first in the grade. It's annoying just to look at him." This directly made the teacher angry and amused. He sneered, "You have poor grades and can't stand others doing well?" Liam blushed with embarrassment. He is an art student and his academic performance is not very good. I curled my lips. What a lousy reason. After a round of education, we were also ordered to write a self-criticism, not less than 2,000 words. I was not convinced about this. It was clearly Liam who picked a fight and started the fight first. Why do I have to write a self-criticism together and read it on the flag-raising platform in front of the whole school? Just thinking about it makes me feel ashamed. It's simply the greatest humiliation in my 17-year life. After leaving the office, I stared at Liam walking in front, so angry that I gritted my teeth. It took me 2 days to finish writing the self-criticism. While writing, I cursed Liam in my heart. Suddenly I heard someone say, "Liam has been asked to call his parents." I turned my head and saw his annoying face downstairs, hanging his head and following behind his mother. I gloated and thought, evil will always be punished. Then I heard someone say, "Being gay, isn't that a mental aberration? How could they not call the parents?" I blinked my eyes and looked at the person speaking. What homosexuality? It spread throughout the whole school. Liam is a pervert who likes men. As the other person spoke, they opened the post and showed it to me. My mind buzzed. I skimmed through the replies in one go. Someone heard what we said that day and posted it online. Just thinking that this blame might be put on me, my legs moved involuntarily. Someone called out to me, "Theodore, the class bell has rung. Where are you going?" "To submit a self-criticism." I ran out of the classroom and headed straight for the office. Through the thin door panel, a woman's voice came out, insisting, "My son can't be gay. He's a normal person." "Liam, say something. Tell the teacher and mom that you're not gay." "Mom, tell them that you're a normal person, not gay." After a moment of silence, a clear slap sounded. "Liam, say something." After a long time, the office door opened, and I saw them come out. He gave me a cold look. With one cheek swollen high, I opened my mouth. He turned around blankly and left. The teacher looked at me in surprise. "Theodore, what do you want?" "To submit a self-criticism." She unfolded the paper. "Let me have a look," I casually asked. "Teacher, why was Liam called on his parents?" The teacher said, "Fighting." "Well, stop prying. The self-criticism is okay. Don't let it happen again." She put away the self-criticism. On the flag-raising platform on Monday, neither Liam nor I went up to read the self-criticism. He asked for leave. I was given leniency for it was my first offense, but somehow I couldn't be happy. Passing by class 3, I subconsciously glanced at the empty desk in the last row. Day after day, after many times, it became a habit. One day after school, I was on duty and left late. Passing by the door of class 3, I saw someone acting furtively in front of Liam's desk. I walked over quietly. I saw that the desk was in a terrible state. Words like pervert, homosexual, go to hell were carved and written on it. I took out my phone and took a picture of that person. There was a crisp click. The girl looked at me in panic. You, I said expressionlessly. Vandalism. The girl stammered. I didn't. I just wanted to clean these up. I took a closer look and said, sorry. The girl lowered her eyes, stroking the scratches on it, and said, if it weren't for me, he wouldn't have ended up like this. It's me who should say sorry. I frowned and asked, did you post the follow-up comment? The girl didn't say a word. After a long while, as if she had been holding it in for a long time, she said with a sob, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I never thought things would turn out like this. I anonymously followed up on the post, and then a lot of people came to scold me and question me. I just wanted to prove that I wasn't lying. Then someone deliberately used the word homosexual to discuss Liam. In a fit of anger, he beat the person up. This incident got out of hand, and the parents were called. If you want to apologize, say it face to face. The girl sobbed. I'm too scared to go alone. Can you accompany me? I wanted to refuse, but she was crying so sadly. The next day, as soon as school was over, I saw her at the classroom door. The girl's name is Ava, and she is a fan of Liam's support club. I'll go to the teacher first to ask for the address. Ava shook her head and said shyly, I know where he lives. I've followed him a few times. She found Liam's house with ease. I raised my hand to knock on the door. No one answered. Just as I was about to leave, I heard the sound of a lock being unlocked behind me. The door opposite opened. The person on the other side was carrying a bag of garbage. They glanced at us and asked, who are you looking for? We're looking for Liam, Aunt. His mom sent him to her academy. What kind of academy? The aunt started chatting away. It's called Restart Academy. The doctors there are amazing. Whether it's internet addiction, lack of interest in studying, disobedience, or homosexuality, they can cure it all. The kids who come out are like completely different people, obedient and well-behaved. I frowned. It was the first time I'd heard of such an institution. The aunt called her daughter over and said proudly, my daughter Sophia graduated from Restart Academy. Before, all she did was play games and was rebellious. Now, she's doing great. She got in the top 10 last month. Hearing the name Restart Academy, Sophia beside her shuddered as if in a state of stress, and her eyes were filled with fear. The aunt sighed. Harper is also a poor woman. Her husband passed away early, and she has a homosexual son. She locked him up at home for a few days, but he just wouldn't change. So I advised her to send him to Restart Academy and give it a try. Sophia took the garbage bag from the aunt and said softly, Mom, I'll take out the trash. The aunt said to us with a beaming smile, once Liam graduates from the academy, he'll surely become a normal person like Sophia. A normal person? It sent a chill down my spine. After saying goodbye to the aunt, Ava rubbed her arms and said, what a horror story. That girl is so gloomy and strange. Just then, we ran into Sophia coming back after taking out the trash. Ava shut up guiltily. I stepped forward and asked, can you tell us about Restart Academy? Restart Academy reshapes a brand new me. Sophia lifted the corners of her mouth, and her facial muscles were trembling. It seemed like she had recited this passage countless times and it had become a conditioned reflex. This time, both Ava and I realized something was wrong. After saying that, she turned around and ran. In a hurry, Ava grabbed her. Sophia's bracelet was pulled off, revealing overlapping old and new wounds on her wrist. Ava gasped in shock. Sophia's face turned pale, and she hid her injured hand behind her back. I immediately said, your wrist is bleeding. Let's go and call your mom. Sophia shook her head desperately and pleaded, no, don't tell my mom. I don't want to go back to that place again. I've tried so hard to be normal. Since she refused to go to the clinic, we bought some medicine and bandaged her wounds. Sophia remained silent throughout the process and didn't even frown when the medicine was applied. When we were about to part ways, she said, the Restart Academy is for treating illnesses and making people normal. Internet addiction is an illness. Homosexuality is an illness, and being disobedient is an illness. After hearing this, Ava said angrily, I'm going to call the police and arrest them. Sophia grabbed her in a hurry and shook her head desperately, saying, no, they have videos. What videos? Faced with Sophia's silence, the answer was obvious. Ava was so angry that she cried and cursed. A bunch of beasts. She hugged Sophia and wailed. Sophia's eyes welled up with tears. From silent sobbing, she burst into loud cries. On the way back, Ava's eyes were swollen like walnuts. She asked me, I feel so bad just thinking that my male god is being tortured inhumanely. Let's call the police and arrest him. There is no evidence. Ava became dejected. After a long while, she said, then I'll sneak in to collect evidence. This matter originally started because of me. No, it's too dangerous. Ava was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. This won't work, and that won't work either. Then what should we do? After a moment of silence, I said, I'll go. You wait outside to provide support. But, no buts. We formulated a plan. I looked up at the big characters Restart Academy and let out a deep breath. Liam, I really owe you big time. The phone rang, and there was Ava's excited voice on the other end. Theodore, Sophia gave me a document. There's evidence in it. I've already called the police. The siren sounded from afar and got closer. A group of uniformed policemen got out. I saw Jiang Yixing in the crowd and then turned around and left. More than a month later, Liam came back to school for classes. Ava was the happiest, but she didn't dare to apologize. She gave herself a pep talk every day. Passing by his class, I habitually looked inside. Our eyes met in mid-air. I casually shifted my gaze and walked away. Liam had changed. He went from being enthusiastic and unrestrained to being silent and quiet. He was always alone, and his boyfriend was nowhere to be seen. One day, I saw that Liam had injuries on his face. According to my observation, the injuries appeared after school. I quietly followed him. Finally, on the third day, I saw the group of people who bullied Liam. I turned on the video recording on my phone and was discovered by them. I intended to put away my phone nonchalantly and leave, but I was quickly stopped. The next day, they were all lined up in the office, each with a bruised face. The teacher looked extremely troubled. I took out my phone and played the video, seizing the initiative. Teacher, it was them who bullied others. The others stared at me, daring not to speak out their anger. After leaving the office, I was awarded a 1,000-word self-criticism. Familiarity breeds ease. Some people started spreading rumors that the guy who kissed Liam was me. I scorned these rumors. Rumors stop at the whys. Obviously, Ava isn't one of them. Congratulations. May you two have a long and happy marriage. I'll take the lead in toasting you. Time flew by in the second semester of senior year of high school, and the college entrance examination was just around the corner. On the last day, Liam found me and asked to meet me on the school rooftop. My eyelid twitched, and all sorts of bad images flashed through my mind. On the last day, the teacher reluctantly delayed the class. When I rushed to the rooftop, I saw Liam sitting on the railing. It seemed that a gust of wind could blow him away. The tense string in my mind snapped. I rushed up and hugged him tightly. My voice was trembling terribly as I scolded, Liam, what on earth is wrong with you? He was stunned for a moment and then replied with a smile. Well, I'm gay. I was slightly taken aback and said hoarsely, sorry. I've learned about this group. Homosexuality isn't an illness. There's nothing wrong with loving someone of the same sex. Love knows no gender. He was stunned for a while, then suddenly asked, Theodore, do you like me? You don't clarify our relationship. After seeing me every time, you walk away as if nothing had happened. You secretly accompany me home and report those who bully me. Ava said you went to the Reboot Academy. Actually, I saw you that day. Liam sneered and deliberately said, Theodore, your heart is beating so fast. I was a bit angry and pushed him away, seriously saying, sorry, I don't like boys. Liam looked at me for a long time, raised his eyebrows and said, just kidding. I'm not interested in straight guys. Otherwise, I'll be struck by lightning. Good that you know. Theodore, which university are you going to apply for? T University. What about you? My eyes fell on his right hand, where there was a hideous scar. I don't know. Oh, can't you encourage me a bit? I'll wait for you at T University. I performed normally in the college entrance examination and got into T University as I wished. Liam chose to repeat the senior year, took away my notes and textbooks, and disappeared. As soon as I returned to the dormitory, I saw Liam standing at the door. Theodore, make yourself clear. I said I sent the message to the wrong person. Liam's face turned even uglier, and he demanded in an accusing tone, then who were you originally going to send it to? The other person is a man, right? I didn't have the energy to argue with him. I had been running around the hospital for a whole day for checkups. I was both tired and hungry. I tried to step past him, but he grabbed me and pinned me against the wardrobe. Liam wouldn't let me go and insisted on getting an answer. I looked up at him, unable to hold back my anger. Yes, I slept with a man. Are you satisfied? Liam's eyes were red-rimmed, and he gritted his teeth and asked, Theodore, didn't you say you were straight? I hissed and fell into self-doubt. Liam suddenly lowered his head, and I was so scared that I slapped him with my backhand. It was especially crisp in the quiet dormitory. He turned his head to the side, looking as if he was about to fall apart. I felt a bit guilty. Sorry. Under my confused gaze, Liam left looking hurt. He disappeared for several days without a trace or any news, as if he had evaporated from the world. James asked me, "Did you quarrel with Junior Jiang?" I shook my head. James said to himself, he used to come to our dorm every day. It's quite unusual not to see him recently. Could he still be angry about me slapping him? But I had already apologized. After thinking about it, I took the initiative to send him a message. Do you want to have dinner together tonight? I have something to do. I felt a bit disappointed. Then I saw the previous message being withdrawn and changed to okay. After class, I saw Liam. He frowned and looked at me, muttering discontentedly. Haven't seen you for a few days? Why have you lost so much weight? Your chin has become so pointed. I touched my chin and mumbled, I have a stomachache. Actually, the morning sickness reaction was extremely severe, and having a meal had become a torture. Liam took me to a kanji shop. The kanji tasted good. He was a bit silent and hesitated to speak several times. I waited and waited. Finally, I couldn't bear it anymore. Just say what you want to say. Is he good to you? Who? Forget it. Let's have a meal. It seems that he is not good to you. He has even made you lose weight. He looked annoyed and muttered in a low voice. Then he took my bowl and filled it up again. How strange. After the meal, we strolled back to school slowly, passing by a milk tea shop. There was a long queue. Although I used to have little interest in milk tea and other beverages, I suddenly had a strong desire to have a cup. Liam noticed my gaze and asked, "What flavor do you want?" I shook my head shyly. "Since we're here, me, taro balls and boba." He smiled, pointed to a spot, and said, "Go and sit there and wait for me." I nodded. After waiting in line for more than 20 minutes, Liam came back with the milk tea. I took a sip of the milk tea. It was a bit delicious. Back at the dormitory, James greeted Jiang Yixing. "Junior Jiang, why have you been coming to our dormitory lately?" My stomach churned without warning. I covered my mouth and rushed to the bathroom, vomiting violently. Liam was so scared that he immediately dialed 120. I waved my hand to stop him and said, "I'm fine." Liam looked both angry and distressed, saying, "Theodore, why are you being so stubborn? Your face has turned pale from vomiting." After I rinsed my mouth and just reached out to get the half-finished milk tea, Liam mercilessly snatched it away and said fiercely, "It's cold. You can't drink it." I tried to find an excuse. "We can't waste it." Liam lowered his head and drank the remaining half cup of milk tea in one gulp. "It's not wasted now." I gave him a glare and didn't want to talk to him anymore. Early the next morning, Liam came to knock on the door. I was dragged out of bed and said impatiently, "What are you doing so early in the morning?" Liam said nothing, hailed a car and stuffed me into it, and we went straight to the hospital. Standing at the hospital entrance, I instantly sobered up and refused to go in no matter what. Liam kept a straight face and half-carried me inside. "Theodore, don't be afraid of seeking medical advice." I flushed with embarrassment and struggled, saying, "I'm not sick. James has told me everything. You vomit every day. Why didn't you tell me?" I turned my head to the side. "I'm not sick." Liam turned my head back and comforted me. "Theodore, no matter what illness it is, I'll stay with you." I stared blankly at him. The dark circles under his eyes and the bloodshot in his eyes were clearly visible. It seemed that he hadn't slept all night. My heart was heavily struck. "I really am not sick." Obviously, Liam didn't believe me. I whispered, "I'm just pregnant." I added, "The test result is in the dormitory. I can show it to you." Suddenly, the atmosphere became deathly silent. After all, which man would get pregnant? He was so angry that he laughed. Without saying a word, he registered for me and arranged for me to have a checkup. When the test result came out, Liam looked shocked. He touched my belly in disbelief. I slapped his hand away irritably. He came to his senses. As if thinking of something, his face darkened. He asked, "Is the child? It's yours." Liam suddenly looked at me and asked as if seeking confirmation, "Was that night not a dream?" I gave a cold laugh. "Theodore, pinch me. I use force." Liam grimaces in pain. "Ouch. It's not a dream." After a long time, he says seriously, "I'll be responsible for you and the baby." After a pause, he asks cautiously, "Do you want to give birth to it? Will it have any impact on your body?" I'm really confused. I don't know. After all, it's a little life with a fetal heartbeat and has taken shape. I can't bear to get rid of it, but at the same time, I'm not ready to welcome it either. This question has troubled me for a long time until one day when I went to the hospital for a Down syndrome screening. There are many people in the gynecology and obstetrics department, and I have to wait in line. After settling me down, Liam leaves temporarily. A pregnant woman with a big belly comes over. I subconsciously get up and offer my seat to her. The pregnant woman thanks me with a smile. I look at her belly and can't help asking her, "Is it very uncomfortable with such a big belly?" The pregnant woman sighs. "Sure it is. It's inconvenient to go to the toilet and sleep, and I even have edema." My face turns pale. I realize how hard it is to be pregnant for 10 months. Finally, the pregnant woman looks down at her belly tenderly and says, "But it's worth it. My husband and I are both looking forward to its birth." I subconsciously touch my belly. Am I looking forward to it? A little, because I want to know if it looks more like me or more like Liam. After the checkup, the doctor's words rang in my ears. "Have you made a decision about whether to keep the baby or not?" After leaving the hospital, Liam suddenly said, "Theodore, let's not have the baby." "Okay." I asked a little unhappily, "Why?" "It will be too painful." "How do you know?" "I had an experience of simulated childbirth." "I'll have a cesarean section. That also hurts and leaves scars." "Let's not have the baby." "Okay." "No." Decided to give birth to the baby. Liam asked me to move in with him so that he could take care of me conveniently. Every day he is cramming on knowledge about pregnant women, parenting knowledge, etc. He is worried all day long, and his eyes seem to be glued to me 24 hours a day, as if the whole world is not safe. As my belly grows day by day, Liam becomes more and more anxious. It's me who is pregnant, but it seems that he has prenatal anxiety. One night, Liam did prenatal education for the baby as usual. At the end, he stroked my bulging belly. I felt a sudden movement in my belly and couldn't help widening my eyes. Liam was extremely shocked and very excited. The baby kicked me. "Theodore, does it hurt you?" I shook my head. He gently stroked the pregnant belly in a circle. I pushed him away, hunched over, and said, "Don't touch it anymore." It was a bit itchy, as if there was a reaction. Liam seemed to sense something. His voice was a bit hoarse. "Theodore, let me help you." "Okay." I didn't say a word and bit my lower lip. He lowered his head and moved down along the lower abdomen. A fine layer of hot sweat broke out on my body, and I couldn't stop shivering. After it was over, Liam helped me clean up and then went to the bathroom himself. I didn't have classes the next day. Liam went to class early in the morning. I vaguely heard some noise outside in a daze. I thought it was Liam coming back with food. I stepped out in my slippers. The next second, I locked eyes with the person coming. Instantly sober, I nervously straightened my clothes and greeted, "Hey." "Hello, Auntie." Mom Jung was stunned for 2 seconds and then smiled. She naturally continued the conversation. "Hello, your name is Theodore, right?" I was surprised. "Auntie, you know me?" Mom Jung nodded and tentatively said, "You and Liam." Thinking of Mom Jung's attitude towards homosexuality before, I quickly interrupted and firmly insisted, "We're just friends. I stayed here at his place last night." Mom Jung seemed very disappointed. "What would you like to eat for lunch? Auntie will cook it for you." Mom Jung was very enthusiastic. "Liam is back." I gritted my teeth and whispered, "Why didn't you tell me your mom was coming today?" He looked innocent as if he was wronged and said, "I didn't know she was coming today either." At the dinner table, Liam took great care of me, which couldn't help but catch Mrs. Jung's attention. While Mrs. Jung got up to serve the rice, I pinched Liam and warned in a low voice, "Watch out, your mom is still here. Don't provoke her." Liam let out a confused "ah." I was a bit frustrated and said, "Anyway, don't pick up dishes for me, peel shrimps, remove fish bones or add soup for me. One should have a sense of boundaries." After the meal, Liam went to do the dishes, leaving me and Mom Jung. Mom Jung asked, "Are you together with Liam?" My mind went blank. I forgot to deny it and nervously clenched my palms, saying, "Auntie, liking the same gender is not an illness. Don't blame him. In fact, 2 men can also live a good life together." Mom Jung's eyes seemed a bit red. After I finished speaking, she said, "Thank you." I was stunned. "I thought you two wouldn't be together." Liam told me that he fell in love with a very nice and excellent person. But that person was straight. He took the exam for university tea for him. He didn't expect to be together. As long as he could become friends, it would be fine. My heart was pounding violently. I stared blankly at Liam in the kitchen. Mom Jung wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. Sending him to the academy was the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. Thank you for saving him. On the way back after seeing Mom Jung off, I asked Liam, if there hadn't been that accident and I had gotten married and had children as things naturally developed, what would you have done? Liam was silent for a moment. "I would have been your best man. At least we'd be on the same stage." "How silly you are." My eyes welled up with tears, and I turned my head away. Turning a straight person gay will bring about divine retribution. This path is too difficult to walk on. I can't bear to let you do it. Let's walk together. I held his hand. Liam held my hand back. Have you found the person who drugged you last time? I gave him a good beating.